When it comes to ecchi comedy anime and manga, you are often hard-pressed to find much outside of the romance genre. While the likes of Konosuba or Pantheon Stalker and Garterbelt exist, they feel like they come across once in a blue moon. Amongst these rare occurrences was Prison School. Akira Harimoto's Prison School was unleashed upon the world on February 7th, 2011, a title that combines sick, grotesque humour, over-the-top moments, while also managing to provide life lessons along the way. But before we get into Prison School itself, we need to understand just why it became what it is. Join me as we look at the complete history of Prison School. Akira Harimoto was born in 1976 in Okinawa, and for him, the prospect of graduating into high school and part-time employment was only bearable due to the fact he spent his time drawing manga as a hobby. Why is this? Well, the high school, much like the prison school, wasn't entirely equally divided between the male and female students. The high schools I attended were overwhelmingly large in number of girls, and they kept shrinking. At lunchtime, girls occupied the cafeteria and classrooms, so I gathered with boys and had lunch at the back of the pool. I was eating. I was full of girls, but it wasn't the feeling at the time, maybe a little helpful. No longer feeling comfortable with attending school, Harimoto soon began to attend manga cafes instead of an education. In 1998, his first title, Agonashi Gen to Ore Monogatari, began serialization in Weekly Young magazine, and it ran for 11 years. Can't really complain much about that. His next title, Me and the Devil Blues, is more well known, I feel. The blues legend Robert Johnson selling his soul to the devil and losing his family in pursuit of becoming a musical legend and roaming America. This one was so popular it actually got released in the West, with the first 5 volumes releasing between January 21st, 2005 and July 6, 2015. Despite its positive reception, Me and the Devil Blues went on hiatus in 2008, with some reports saying that it was originally cancelled due to the lack of fan service, and this being one of the major inspirations for Harimoto to go the entirely opposite. With over-the-top sexual characters and ridiculous scenarios, Prison School is entirely the opposite of a series focusing on the blues. Originally, it started from the idea that it would be fun to simply multiply the school harem and the prison stuff. It's better not to think of the school as a prison, but to have that prison in the school. I thought it was stupid and fun. In Prison School, 5 young men attend Hachimatsu Academy, one of the strictest girls' academies in Tokyo. Under a new regime, they decide to start accepting boys. However, the boys soon discover that they are the only 5 boys in a school of over 1,000. The laws in the school that are still in place make the school even worse, which punishes infractions with a stay in the school's prison. The 5 main boys, Kiyoshi, Gakuto, Shingo, Joe and Andre, they are all captured and arrested after attempting to peep on the girls. Pulling the strings are the underground student council, giving the boys an ultimatum: either stay in a month in the school's prison block or be expelled. Prison School is honestly a hilarious title. Most comedy series revolve around harems or romance, but this one instead pulls out all of the stops. While it does attempt to throw these tropes at you, it really rather focuses on grotesque humour. In some ways it feels almost British. Similar to Bottom or The Young Ones, with fart jokes and rude humour, but fitting well within the narrative. And of course it doesn't stop there. Harimoto's drawings give the series a unique presentation, attempting to combine realism with outrageous humour. It surprisingly works. Rather than being punchline funny, it takes situations and just runs with them. Most situations are inherently ridiculous, and are framed in highly elaborate and deadpan ways. Harimoto is a comic genius when it comes to thinking of over-the-top embarrassing and lewd scenes that reach peak ridiculous, while everyone else is taking it seriously. There aren't any winks to the camera, nor any one-note gags. Each gag can take 1 to many chapters, usually within tense moments. This ensures the series is a page-turner, but admittedly, it can cause a little bit of fatigue upon rereading. It's a title that takes its time with what it's doing, but feels incredibly tense when doing so. One could liken it to Dragon Ball Z with its episodes of endless power-ups. But Prison School feels like so much more. Each moment and panel feels like it was carefully crafted to move the plot forwards. It's an absolute gem. And of course we can't talk Prison School without mentioning the ecchi. It's a title that to this day is well known for being the top tier of ecchi comedy. And yet it focuses not more on the Kia senpai other titles pull out, but it goes from one extreme to another. If anything, it focuses more on fetishes. I think it's more erotic to hide everything than to reveal everything mentally and physically. I think I can draw flowers erotically without having to put out a load of breasts and buttocks. This manages to work a lot better in my opinion and allows a lot of the scenes to become a lot more memorable. Prison School's ability to go that one step further has really helped it. Taking mundane situations and crafting them to fit the narrative. From the Medusa that makes boys turn to stone, to skin-tight clothing that is impossible to take off when nature calls, to almost an entire volume asking the age-old question, butts or boobs. Prison School's attention to detail in these situations has really made it stand out above other series. Far from the usual ecchi situation in the realms of hot springs and beach episodes, these do exist to an extent in the dreams of the young men, but reality is harshly different. In the end, Prison School is more about a man being a servant to woman's sexual attraction, with strong and powerful women taking centre stage. I feel the strength of women in places where they are weaker than men. In video work, in a sense. Feminist movies such as Ocean, Thelma and Louise, Fried Green Tomato. I love the work of a woman who has guts and manages to survive. Prison School enjoyed 28 volumes worth of content from February 7th, 2011 to December 25th, 2017, selling over 13 million copies as of March 2018. It was awarded Best General Manga Award alongside Guruzerni at the 37th Kodansha Manga Award. It received a spin-off manga, Shadow Student Council Vice President Gives a Role, by popular hentai artist Redrop. Yen Press picked up the manga, releasing them in omnibus 2-in-1 forms from July 2015 and was finally completed in October 2019. The anime was announced in August 2014 on the wraparound of Volume 14 to be released in July 2015. Produced by JC staff under the direction of Tsutomu Mizushima, also known for directing titles such as XXX Holic, Girls and Panzer and Shirobako. Titles no doubt worthy of future complete history of episodes. Mizushima found it difficult to adapt a unique style of comedy, more used to being able to offset the humour with cute characters. In an interview included in Anime Limited's Blu-ray release, he often comments on how he needed to balance the unique style that was presented in the manga while also allowing the series to flow well. If you can get a hold of it, I would certainly recommend reading it. As to be expected with such a title, a lot of censorship was required for broadcast release. The Prison School anime was met with an overall positive response, lasting 12 episodes and then being given a single OVA. It's often regarded as a must-watch for fans of ecchi, although a lot of reviewers often comment on how it doesn't really manage to match up with the manga, as is often the case. Promotion for the anime came with the usual collaborations you'd expect with an anime these days. Pop-up cafes, billboards, and even smartphone crossovers. A handful of merchandise was released alongside it, mainly of Miko or Hana. The Prison School anime was released on Blu-ray in 6 individual volumes in Japan and released in America via Funimation. In the UK, Anime Limited partnered with Funimation to release a regular and limited edition version of the series. Sadly, due to the buying out of Funimation by Sony, the series has been discontinued. There are no current plans of a re-release. While speaking of Funimation, the dub came under fire for adding a Gamergate reference to the script. Out of everything that Prison School did, this was surprisingly the biggest negative response I've seen of the series. The home video release removed this reference, and Funimation never did anything like it ever again. Prison School has had a number of spin-offs over the years, with the above-mentioned Shadow Student Council Vice President Gives Her All being released. There's also a spin-off titled The Men Who Created the Prison School Anime, which ran for 11 chapters. This is a dramatisation of the creative process behind the creation of the Prison School anime. A live action of Prison School was released in 2017 and is available on the Funimation streaming service. Surprisingly, it's rather good. While it does unfortunately cut past a lot of the ecchi moments in the series, when it comes to a live action, it is actually one of the better ones. Prison School ended its run on Christmas Day 2017. I felt it was time. As much as I love the series, its long drawn out scenes made the series run longer than perhaps needed. The series wrapped up in its own unique way, and for me, I felt it really worked. Prison School will always hold a dear place in my heart. While fandom will often lament the lack of a season 2 that will likely never arrive, the manga more than made up for it. It will continue to take pride in my collection, and I look forward to Harimoto's next manga, Raw Hero. Prison School did exactly what I wanted, and was a rather fun experience along the way. Thank you ever so much for following me on the complete history of Prison School. It really means a lot, and if you do want to see more of this, please make sure you subscribe. Goodbye for now.